To the UK now, where more drama is unfolding around Prince Andrew. The Queen's son is now being sued by one of Jeffrey Epstein's longtime accusers for alleged sexual abuse. Lawyers for Virginia Giuffre filed the lawsuit yesterday in Manhattan Federal Court. Dominic Velitis joins us live in London with more. So Dominic, tell us more about this new lawsuit.
Yeah, good morning, Asha. This is a civil complaint. It was filed in a federal court in Manhattan yesterday afternoon, and it alleges that Prince Andrew abused Virginia Giuffre on 3 occasions when she was under the age of 18, which was about 20 years ago. It claims Andrew forced Giuffre to have sex against her will at the London home of Ghislaine Maxwell, the long-time associate of the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, who killed himself in 2019. It also alleges Andrew abused Giuffre at Epstein's mansion in New York and on his private island in the US Virgin Islands. Now, the court documents that were filed yesterday say the extreme and outrageous conduct that is alleged to have occurred continues to cause Virginia Giuffre significant emotional and psychological distress and harm. We can show you a little more from the documents which were filed yesterday, Asha. They read, "In this country, no person, whether president or prince, is above the law, and no person, no matter how powerless or vulnerable, can be deprived of the law's protection. 20 years ago, Prince Andrew's wealth, power, position and connections enabled him to abuse a frightened, vulnerable child with no one there to protect her. It is long past the time for him to be held account." Now, we have reached out to Buckingham Palace this morning, Asher. Officials, though, have declined to comment, saying that this is a matter for Prince Andrew's legal team. No word from them yet, but it is worth mentioning that these allegations have been made in the past and were denied by Prince Andrew himself in that bombshell TV interview he did back in 2019. Asha.
Right, so we'll be watching and waiting for that for sure. But how likely is it that this will end up in court?
Well, that's an interesting question, Asha. As I say, this is a civil complaint. Legal experts say that, technically speaking, papers have to be personally served to defendants. There are some exceptions. Papers can potentially be served to a representative of the defendant, or there is something legal experts say, something called service by publication. But in reality, Prince Andrew would have to be served the papers personally. So if he can avoid being served those papers, technically speaking, he can avoid a trial. And again, according to legal experts, very few of these type of cases actually end up in court, especially the high-profile ones. There is always the possibility, they say, that they could be resolved or settled before it gets that far. There is, I should stress, nothing to suggest that that is what is going to happen here. As I say, Prince Andrew has in the past denied all of these allegations. But what this new legal complaint, which was filed yesterday, does do is it effectively preserves those claims which have been made against him. Asha.
All right. Thanks, Dominic.